प्रिंट वाला एग्जांपल है हमारे पास आगे,
है ना?
ओके
इसके लिए तो इतने एग्जांपल्स है ना. हाँ, अभी आगे धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे. नाउ बिफोर वी गो अहेड, one more thing we have to refer from day 3, and that is very important: overriding rules. This is the most important question in the interview, Java interview. So overriding के rules है Java में, which we do not have in C++. इतने नहीं है, but Java में special rules है overriding के. There are 4 rules. Huh? Today we are going to discuss 3 rules. 4th rule we are not going to discuss today because 4th rule is related to exception handling. So in exception handling topic we will understand or learn that rule. But today we will discuss all 3 rules. First rule: arguments must be same, otherwise it becomes overloading. Arguments must be same, otherwise it becomes overloading. So what does that mean? आगे example है, but I would like to explain. Because when you read any sentence, उसका explanation होना चाहिए. तो suppose यहाँ पे class base है, void display है, class sub extends base है, void display है. ये हो गया ओवरराइडिंग का केस. इसको बोलेंगे ओवररिडन मेथड और इसको बोलेंगे ओवरराइडिंग. अभी सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल while overriding by mistake or because of lack of knowledge, if you give different parameter, then it is no more overriding, it becomes overloading. ये overloading हो गया. Remember, in the beginning I said usually overloading happens in one class, but in Java overloading happens in one class as well as in different classes, base and child. Where? Here. While overriding, suppose by mistake you give different argument, then it becomes overloading. It is no more overriding. So overriding का first rule है, argument must be same. If arguments are different, it is not overriding, it becomes overloading. Clear? First rule, argument must be same, otherwise it becomes overloading. तो ऐसे नहीं है ओवरलोडिंग एक ही क्लास में होता है, ओवरलोडिंग डिफरेंट क्लास में भी होता है, बेस क्लास एंड चाइल्ड क्लास. when while overriding by mistake or with lack of knowledge, without any knowledge you pass different argument, so that becomes overloading. It is no more overriding. Yes, Chiranjeev.
Sir, in Java also for overloading behind the scenes mangling takes place.
हाँ, mangling तो होना ही है ना, because you can't have same method, two methods with the same name. Yeah, argument must be same, otherwise it becomes overloading. Second rule, return type of overriding can be covariant. हाँ, अभी यहाँ पे एक चीज समझ लो. Here, let's go to that overriding thing. Okay. What is the first rule? Argument must be same. What about return type? What is the return type rule? So for your information, before JDK 5, the rule was return type of overridden and overriding must be same. But after Java 5, they have added one flexibility in case of return type. Now they are saying return type can be covariant. Return type can be covariant. First of all, I would like to show you wordings. I mean the definition of covariant. What do you mean by covariant return type? That's here. That's it. That is there in inheritance programs folder. Here, yeah. What is covariant return type in case of overriding? First read that. Then I will give you example. What is covariant return type in case of overriding? If overridden method has parent as a return type, then overriding method can have child as a return type. If overridden method has parent as a return type, overriding method can have child as a return type. That is called as covariant return type. I am showing you this definition. I have given this definition in day 3 so that you should learn it properly and do not give any wrong statement during Viva or interview. Sometimes people say in Viva, covariant return type. They say covariant return type. Bindas bolte, covariant return type. Obviously, question will be asked after that. What do you mean by covariant return type? So bolte, if parent class returns parent, child class returns child. That is wrong. Even though you have understood the meaning, but while saying you are not able to say that properly. So that will be considered as wrong. Parent class returns means what? Does class return anything? No, method. So that is wrong. Sometimes people say, okay, parent class method returns parent, child class method returns child. वो correct है, but you should not say in that way. You should say overridden method returns parent, overriding method can return child. Overridden and overriding, these terminologies you must use in your answer compulsorily. So if overridden method has parent as a return type, overriding method can have child. So that means here now it is void, same bhi chalega. Yes, whatever rule was there before Java 5, that is there, but they have added one more flexibility here in that rule, and that is it can be covariant. So this is correct. Or if we can go for covariant, so overridden method can have return type parent. Parent, you know, object is the parent of all the classes. Here we can say string. This is covariant return type. Overridden method return type parent, overriding method return type string. That is called as covariant return type. Ulta is not possible. Ulta will be error. I mean, this is string and this is object. No, that will be error. Different types, error. Suppose you say here my class, and here if you say string, no, there's no connection between my class and string. That will be wrong. That will be different return type, which is not allowed. Return type can be either same or covariant. This is covariant. Make sure you follow second rule. First rule, argument must be same. Second rule, return type can be covariant.
So string is related to object.
String is a child of object. Every class is a child of object. So in fact, you can write any class here. Any. Apna class bhi likh sakte ho, my class. That's also allowed. But you can't change the order. Niche object or upper string.
Sir,
Sir, as we written object as a return type of display method, so what will it return?
That can return any object, any object. Okay. When return type is parent, you can return any child. You can return. See, there are two different things. Try to understand that. Return type and what actually you return.
Yes.
Return type है object. That means you can return any specific object. You can return string, you can return my class, etc. यहाँ पे return type string है, तो you can return only string.
Yes.
Coherent return type. Is that clear? Third rule. Third rule. Overriding method must have same or more accessibility as compared to overridden method. Overriding method must have same or more accessibility as compared to overridden method. Same or more. Huh? So, what is the accessibility of this overridden method here? Default. And what is the accessibility of this default? So that means overriding method here has got same accessibility of overridden method. And rule says what? Can have, must have same or more. So that means this is correct. This is correct. If I write here protected, will that be correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
हाँ, क्योंकि protected is more than default. Protected is more than default. So that is allowed. Instead of protected, if I say public, will that be allowed?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Yeah,
No,
because
no.
public is more than. Public is more than
Public
default.
is
allowed.
Public is
allowed.
more than default, na? So that is
Yeah,
also.
it's allowed.
So if this is default, if overridden method is default, how many options overriding method is called? Default, protected,
Public. Public.
हाँ, अभी बोलो अगर ये protected है, तो how many options we have in
Only public and
Public.
Protected and
हाँ,
protected.
protected. Say same or more, same or more. Remember same or more. Protected or public. समझ गए?
Yes.
If this is public, अगर ये public है,
Only
no
public.
choice. Yes,
Only
you
public.
don't have any choice. Choice ही नहीं आपके पास. And remember one thing, James Gosling and his team, they have developed so many classes. In those classes, 99% methods are public. 99 methods. So when you try to override those methods in your class, remember public will be compulsory. Because those methods are called as overridden method. If overridden method is public, you don't have any choice but to go for public. So this is rule number 3. Read 1, 2, 3 rules. If you have any doubt, let me know. Don't read 4th rule at all. देखो ही मत. हाँ? You read, take your own time, then I will tell you one very important thing here. That people always make mistake in the interview or Viva.
Sir, please explain again coherent.
Coherent आप पढ़ो यहाँ पे. यहाँ पे पढ़ो आप। हाँ, पहले पढ़ो। डिड यू रीड? आपने पढ़ा?
हाँ सर।
हाँ, अभी एग्जाम्पल देखो। ये है कोवेरिएंट। Return type of overridden method is parent. Return type of overriding method can be child of that parent. String is a child of object.
Sir, you have used the word can be child. So does it mean we can also have void?
Wait, I am coming to that point. I am coming to that point. अभी ये जो है ना, यहाँ पे इतनी मिस्टेक करते हैं ना, most people, not some people, I will say. ये लिखा है argument must be same, यहाँ पे बोलते हैं argument can be same. Argument can be same का मतलब क्या हुआ कि argument can be different also. Wrong. Must be, यहाँ पे must be ही बोलना है. Return type of overriding can be covariant, यहाँ पे बोलते हैं must be covariant. Must be covariant, that means if I have same return type तो नहीं चलेगा, compilation error आएगा. Wrong. तो यहाँ पे आपको can be बोलना है, can be covariant. तो उसका hidden statement है it can be same or covariant. Overriding method must have same or more accessibility है, बोलते हैं can have same or more accessibility. Can का meaning और भी हो सकता है ना, you can have less or more or less or same or less accessibility. तो जहाँ पे must लिखा है वहाँ पे must आना चाहिए, यहाँ पे can लिखा है वहाँ पे can होना चाहिए.
Sir, in rule 2, if we have return type as an integer in overridden method, and so what should be in overriding method return type?
हाँ, यहाँ पे integer ना, अभी यहाँ पे एक I would like to give one suggestion, that is integer मत बोलो, int बोलो. कभी integer बोलना है I will tell you. हाँ, कभी integer बोलना है I will tell you. अभी int बोलो for the time being. हाँ, क्योंकि बाकी कोई लैंग्वेज होगा, सपोज C में वगैरह, हम लोग बिंदास बोलेंगे C++ में इंटीजर इंट ऐसे, बट यहाँ पे इंटीजर और इंट दोनों डिफरेंट है. तो आप अभी इंट ही बोलो बिकॉज हाँ इंट. अभी यहाँ पे इंट लिखा ना, तो रिमेंबर वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, कोवेरिएंट is not possible in case of primitive type. Covariant is possible only in case of reference type. क्योंकि parent और child तो primitive में नहीं होता है ना, parent और child कहाँ पे होता है, reference type में होता है. तो if your overridden method has got return type int, compulsorily overriding method must say int.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. देख लो 1 2 3 रूल अच्छे से आनी चाहिए. बिकॉज ओवरराइडिंग तो जावा में इतना है ना, कोर जावा, एडवांस जावा, इतना है ओवरराइडिंग, दैट इज these rules are, that's why these rules are so important, and that's why this is one of the most important questions in the Java interview. वाइवा में होगा, आपके इंटरव्यू में होगा, फाइनल इंटरव्यू में होगा, एवरीवेयर ओवरराइडिंग रूल्स तो होगा ही होगा.
Sir, covariant means it can be same.
नहीं, कोवेरिएंट मींस कैन बी सेम नहीं, सेम रिटर्न टाइप है तो चलेगा, बट कोवेरिएंट भी हो सकता है. कोवेरिएंट मींस डज नॉट मीन सेम. अभी ये ऑब्जेक्ट और स्ट्रिंग सेम है क्या?
No, it
यहाँ
is
पे ऑब्जेक्ट
child.
लिखा था मैंने अभी. हाँ, ऑब्जेक्ट और स्ट्रिंग सेम नहीं है ना, ऑब्वियसली ऑब्जेक्ट है, स्ट्रिंग है, तो ये सेम रिटर्न टाइप नहीं है, ये कोवेरिएंट है. अभी मैंने लिखा था इंट, वो सेम रिटर्न टाइप था.
Okay, sir. Means same भी चलेगा और
सेम
covariant भी.
सेम भी, हाँ अभी सेम भी चलेगा, क्यों नहीं है उस वर्डिंग में, बिकॉज सेम भी चलेगा, इट हैज टू बी देयर सिंस बिगिनिंग. तो तो 5 में क्या हुआ, जावा 5 में they added one more flexibility. आप you can go for coherent return type also.
Okay, sir.
सर
हाँ,
सर तो फिर डिफरेंट प्रिमिटिव डेटा टाइप्स के लिए फिर नहीं होगा ना इसमें?
नहीं प्रिमिटिव जब भी आएगा ना, whenever
It should be
primitive
same.
return
It
type
should be
comes,
same.
yeah, same.
Okay.
There is no coherent in case of primitive.
Okay.
Because coherent का meaning है parent child, और parent child तो primitive में होता नहीं है.
हाँ.
That's the reason. चलो अभी डेमो 13 के लिए बहुत कुछ डिस्कशन हो चुका है, तो आगे बढ़ते हैं. डेमो 14. नाउ हाँ, डेमो 14 में void display overdone method, sub1 extends base overriding method, sub1 s1 is equal to new sub1 s1 dot display. This example seems to be same as demo 13, but it has got one small change. What is that?
Sir, super
keyword is used.
Super dot
हाँ, ये क्या है? Yeah, what is this? This is nothing but invoking overdone method from overriding method. Invoking overdone method from overriding method. And this is very, very important. Example, I give you four-wheeler. Four-wheeler के start में generic instructions are there for any four-wheeler. Now, when you design car, you would like to override start because you're not convinced completely with the start method of four-wheeler. You just look at start method of four-wheeler and you understand that, okay, ठीक है, generic instructions है, I need that, but I need some more instructions for start method of car. So you override car ka start method. But in that car ka start method, you are not going to repeat those things which are there in four-wheeler start. Rather, you will call four-wheeler start from car start. That is, you will call overridden method from overriding method, and then after that you have your specific instructions for car start. So it is very, very important in case of overriding to call overridden method from overriding method. Most of the cases you will see that. But यहाँ पे super dot display is important. Why not only display? If you write only display तो क्या होगा?
Recursion हो जाएगा.
recursion.
Infinite loop, stack overflow.
Recursion. Yeah, infinite recursion. So it is very important to specify that super dot display. यहाँ पे super dot display purposely I have written on the second line. Purposely. वो इसलिए because that day Saturday I told you when you use super keyword to invoke constructor. When you use super keyword to invoke constructor of the parent class, it has to be on the first line of the child class constructor. But when you use super keyword to invoke method, it can be on any line. But ideally, यहाँ पे first line पे होना चाहिए. क्यों होना चाहिए? Because first you utilize base class method, and then you add your own specific things. So logically, super dot display should be on the first line. Syntactically कहीं पे भी चलेगा, on any line. तो यहाँ पे डेमो 14 का आउटपुट होगा sub display and base display. Sub display here, and when super dot display is called base display. Sub display, base display. Look at this. Okay. Demo 15. If the overridden method is final, if the method is final, if the method is final, that means you cannot override the method. That means you cannot override the method. You know, final keyword can be applied to 5 places. Okay, I have already started this question in my Viva. How many places final keyword can be applied? Some people could give correct answers, some people could not give. Final keyword can be applied to 5 places. Number 1, instance member. Number 2, class variable, that is static. Number 3, local member.